Hey guys, welcome to the Duel Links Entertainment YouTube channel. This is a box review of the newly announced mini box Fortress of Gears. This was released last night right after we got off of End Phase, and we were anticipating a new mini box to come to the game. And just like our last box review, we are going to hit up all of the important cards in the box, as many as we can. And we're going to review them, talk about them, and let you know what we think.
Yeah, and so, joining us is special guest, card expert, TCG expert, PDS.
I wouldn't go that far.
Okay.
Hey, what's up, guys?
How's it going?
You're going to get a bullied like with your throwing around all those titles.
Yep. How's it going, buddy?
It's going.
So, your first impressions on the box?
Well, I'm a huge Hero fan, so I saw Ferris and Increase. They're two really good cards.
Mm-hmm.
But, after like 5 minutes of excitement, it was just complete dread. I was like, oh no, like they don't really do that much. Like they do a lot for the hero deck, but
right.
That's not saying much because the hero deck's already kind of whatever.
Yeah, it's not going anywhere anytime soon. So the Vision Hero Ferris, that's a UR. You want to kind of explain that one?
Yeah, so let's go right in.
Yeah, so the Ferris, he lets you discard a hero monster to special summon himself, and when he is normal or special summon, he lets you put a Vision Hero monster from your deck onto the spell and trap zone. So it's kind of similar to Crystal Beast. They have their they have the monsters on the spell and trap zone, but these guys are traps instead of spells. Like Crystal Beast are spells, so these guys are traps. So then you can go ahead and a lot of the Vision Heroes have the effect where you contribute a hero monster to special summon themselves onto the monster zone.
So what are you doing with them in the trap zone once they're there?
So yeah, like I said, you gotta tribute them to get them onto the field. Tribute a hero to special summon them onto the field.
Okay.
So but because they're traps, they can be used on your opponent's turn as well. So you can tribute your heroes off on your opponent's turn and summon them out.
Oh, I see. That's crazy. So let's go to some of the other hero cards first, so we can get some context on their effects. So the next hero card is the SR Vision Hero Increase. The Dark Level 3 Warrior. If you take battle or effect damage, you can place this card from your graveyard face up in your spell and trap card zone as a continuous trap during the main phase. While this card is treated as a continuous trap, you contribute one hero monster. Special summon this card. If this card is special summoned from the spell and trap zone, you can special summon one level 4 or lower Vision Hero monster from your deck. Only use this effect once per turn. Alright, so this is pretty good. You're getting another hero monster as a target for whatever fusion spell you're going to use them on.
Yeah, usually the combo is you go Ferris, discard any hero. And that could be Destiny, Elemental, whatever. So you discard any hero, put Ferris on the field, and then use Ferris effect to put Increase in the spell and trap zone. So then use Increase, tribute that Ferris you just summoned, special summon Increase. And then when Increase is special summon from the spell and trap zone, you can special summon a Vision Hero from the deck. So you bring out Vion. Then Vion can send, as soon as Vion is summoned, he can send any hero from the deck to the graveyard. So you can send Celestial, Malicious, any hero you want. And then usually you would banish the Ferris that you tributed. You would banish him, and then you get polymerization to your hand. So it's a pretty nice little engine.
I mean, so what's the end game here? Are you still just working towards Anki, or is there a better monster
you would
now?
that play would get you to Adoration out of the selection box, Vision Hero Adoration.
Mm-hmm.
But if you send Malicious, you could also go for Destiny Hero Dangerous as a fusion.
Okay.
And then of course, you can get a lot of monsters on the field. Like Ferris by himself gets 2 monsters on the field. So if you have a Stratos as well, you can summon Stratos. You get Plasma to your hand, and now you have 3 guys on the field, so you contribute all 3 for Plasma. For Destiny Hero Plasma.
Nice.
So there's a lot of it brings a lot to the table, but we're still missing a key. Like we're missing like a good fusion monster to support all of this.
Yeah, because that's one of the main problems with heroes, right? As far as fusion monsters goes, not things that are accessible by mask change. There are not too many great options. We have the Dangerous, which is just a generally good fusion, and then Vision Hero Adoration is a selection box exclusive. and that's
Yeah.
probably the card you're going to be fusing into the most.
And Stratos is also a
cards.
selection box exclusive.
That is right. So if you did not go deep on the selection box, you're going to be missing a key part of what makes this deck good.
Yeah, so increase, he gets he gets Vion to the field usually. But there's also the second guy, which is Minimum Ray. He's a rare in the box. And all the Vision heroes except for Vion have this effect. Oh, Vion and Ferris don't have it. All the little ones do otherwise though. It's if you take battle damage or effect damage, they put themselves into the spawn trap. So Minimum Ray, what he does is when he is same thing as increase, you tribute a monster, special summon onto the field. When he's special summon onto the field, from the spawn trap zone, you get to pop. You can destroy a level 4 or lower monster your opponent controls. So, yeah, the one unfortunate part about these guys is that in the TCG, when you take battle damage, they get put into the spawn trap zone, and your opponent then goes into the main phase, the second main phase, and you can take you can get some use out of them there. You can use their effects in the main phase too, but because we don't have that in Duel Links, you're gonna have to wait a full until it's your turn to take advantage of them being spawn trap zone again.
So stuff that's once again we're running into what's good in the TCG doesn't always translate over into Duel Links.
Yeah, at the moment that's what it's looking like, because we just really need like a good fusion to go into, because like right now turn 1 Adoration is really underwhelming. It loses to a lot of things, and just it's not, and then the other option would be Dangerous. It's not really you don't have that many options.
All right, so you're like Kamell. You're a huge hero fan. Would you go in on this box just for heroes?
All right,
just for heroes,
Stratos,
nothing else.
Okay, if I have Stratos and I have Adoration, that means I'm a huge whale. So of course I'd be going into this box, but because I don't have them, I don't think I would touch it just for heroes.
Okay,
fair enough.
So the other card that they got was Vision Hero Multiply.
It's the first normal. Yeah,
first normal. He has the same, if you take battle damage, put in the spawn trap. All of them have that. So it says during your main phase, this card is treated as a continuous trap. They always have that too. It says you tribute a hero monster, special summon it onto the field, and then when it's special summoned, you can have one monster on the field gain 800 attack. So this one is, and in my opinion, it's pretty bad. I would not play this card.
Well, I love his name, Multiply Guy. He's a multiplier guy.
Yeah. A little these cards these were Aster Phoenixes from the manga, not from the anime, by the way. Okay. Just saying, little gamer facts right there.
There you go.
So, next one, Vision Hero Gravito is if this card is normal or special summon, you can take target one of your banished hero monsters added to your hand. So that's pretty nice, because you banish cards with Vion to get polymerization, so you can try to get some of your stuff back there. You also banish cards with Celestial. If you play that, you banish 2 Destiny heroes. And then you can tribute this card and target 2 of your Vision heroes in your spawn trap zone and special them onto the field. So again, a lot of these cards you're going to notice that they really want you to play like a whole Vision hero deck, but it's honestly the main 2 guys are Ferris and Increase. Like the rest of them are kind of whatever, honestly.
Okay. So
yeah, because honestly, you really want to play these guys in tandem with the other hero cards that are going to give you those crazy good effects, the Stratos, the Celestial, the Solid Soldier, right? And if you are playing those 2, you're not going to have room for all these Multiply Guy, Gravito, like...
Yeah, not in a 20-card deck.
And then the spells are kind of just playing into that spell and trap gimmick. They want you to like fuse with them in the spell and trap zone, and they want you to like special summon them from there. So honestly, the only ones you're really going to be looking for is Ferris and Increase if you want to play the hero deck. And also, you don't need 3 Increase; you only need 2 Increase. So if you get, your Ferris early, you could probably reset for an Increase.
Okay,
good to know. All right, so that is heroes. So let's go over the other UR archetype. Machinas? Is that how it's pronounced?
Machinas, yes.
Machinas are finally getting a lot of their support in Duel Links, along with their boss monster, Machina Fortress.
They're just Transformers, right? Let's be
Yeah,
honest. They're just
this card's pretty
Transformers.
good. Yeah, they're basically Transformers.
Okay.
This is a very popular. This is a very popular TCG card. Very
Yeah,
popular
they
TCG
like-
archetype. Machina Fortress is an Earth level 7. You can discard machine monsters whose total levels equals 8 or more, then special summon this card from your hand or graveyard. This card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard. Target one card your opponent controls, destroy that target. Before resolving an opponent's monster's effect that targets this face-up card, look at your opponent's hand and discard one card from their hand.
That's kind of nice. I mean, that part, right? They try to target it. That would include like a treacherous trap hole.
Yeah,
right?
a treacherous
controller, clash. The one really nice thing about this card is it actually has a really interesting ruling. It says you can discard machine monsters whose total level equals 8 or more. So that is including himself. So you can go and discard Machina Fortress and let's just say Machina Gear Frame, another level 4 machine monster. So you discard Fortress and a Gear Frame, and you can summon Fortress. So you really don't have to go. The card is kind of deceiving. It's kind of oh, I have to go -2 to summon him, but you only have to discard himself. So it's
so you can send him to the graveyard as well.
From your
special
hand
summon him.
graveyard.
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Yeah, you can discard him, special summon himself from the graveyard. So you really only need one more level.
One other card. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Oh, that is pretty good. The next.
Well, then
Machina
I guess
card,
it just becomes like a normal tribute summon, right? Except you don't have to
it's
summon the other
summon at that
monster.
point.
You just get to
Exactly.
pitch it, and then it's still the same kind of cost. It's just quicker.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that is very important. Quicker equals better
Yeah.
in Duel Links, baby. All right, our next Machina card is Machina Gear Frame, Earth level 4. Is a Union monster. When this card is normal summon, you can add one Machina monster from your deck to your hand. That includes your boss monster. Except Machina Gear Frame, once per turn, you can target one machine-type monster you control. Equip this card to that target, or unequip this card, special summon it face-up attack position. The monster can only be equipped with one Union monster. If the equipped would be destroyed, destroy this card instead.
Okay,
so this is...
So you summon the Gear Frame here, you search out your Fortress, and let's say you have another card in your hand, you could bring the Fortress out then at that point, right? Because you get to special summon it.
Yes.
Okay.
And then
you can equip... Yeah.
You could equip the Gear Frame onto the Machina Fortress.
Okay.
Right, and its protection is if the equipped monster would be destroyed. So that is by card effect or battle. Any form of destruction, Gear Frame will protect it. And protect it once.
Right, so they target your Fortress, you discard something from their hand, and then you just pitch your Gear Frame.
Exactly.
Yep.
Nice.
And then when your Fortress finally dies, he gets to pop a card. When he dies by battle, or just dies by battle. So when they finally get rid of him, you get to pop a card too. So it's really nice.
Okay. All right. There's some good effects built into this archetype. It seems like already.
Yeah. So the next Machina card is Machina Megaform. It's an Earth level 8. You contribute this card and special summon one Machina monster from your hand or deck, except Machina Megaform. If a face-up Machina Fortress you control is sent to the graveyard while this card is in your graveyard, you can banish that Machina Fortress from the graveyard to special summon this card. You can only use one Machina Megaform effect per turn and only once that turn.
So this card is kind of they want it to be I don't know what the equivalent. It's kind of like a Desperado kind of effect, Barrel Dragon Desperado. Right? It's like when your boss dies, you get to bring this one out. But
right.
The problem with this card is that the main problem is that it says except during the damage step.
Where all the stuff happens.
Yeah, exactly. That's when monsters are destroyed by battle. So it's
okay.
It would have to be destroyed by let's just say Raigeki Break, right? But no one's gonna be targeting your Machina Fortress with Raigeki Break, because then they would have to discard a card. So they would just go, it's the card seems good, but it's not really that good.
Right, that'd be a huge negative for them, right? Especially if you had Fortress with Gear Frame, they use Raigeki Break, they pitch a card, and then you get to pick a card out of their hand and throw it away, and you get to protect it. Yeah,
it's terrible. But so this card is I'm I don't think you're gonna play it. I think the main thing is the gear frame and the fortress.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I think that's it for Machina support. The only other card
that's all there is?
Machina. Yeah, it's just those two. The other card is Machina Soldier, which is a reprint. It is a normal one. This card is normal summon while you control no other monsters. You can special summon one Machina monster from your hand, except Machina Soldier.
Where is it? In the normals?
Yeah, it's normals.
Yeah, so but those gear frame and fortress is generic machine support. Like you can play this in any machine deck.
Okay. That's why you got the dark salvos now, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Oh wow, you're gonna be dark salvoing with your soldier and summoning Star Eater, and oh man, you're gonna be doing a whole bunch of stuff. Hopefully, maybe. Alright, so that is Machinas. Our last UR is a normal trap Ballista Squad. Tribute one monster, then target one monster your opponent controls and destroy it. Alright, so any deck that benefits from tributing, I don't know, like you could maybe play this in Blue Eyes, kinda. It would be a tech, I guess. I guess we'll have to see where this is going to be used more.
Yeah, I mean, like honestly, I see. Like, there's not really too many decks that could take advantage of it right now. I mean, in the future, it could be a great card. Right now, I can just see the White Stone of Ancients being tributed for this, but then it's like, what if I have Raigeki Break? Wouldn't that be better?
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
But like I know this is really out there, but they did put the Mecha Phantom Beast Synchro as a rare.
So this box, as a reprint, right?
So maybe they want you to like summon tokens and then tribute the tokens to pop. I don't know.
It's god, dude! But
then they'll say these tokens can't be tributed.
Yeah, there will be some stuff like that. Yeah,
that'll be hilarious.
Okay,
so that is all the URs.
Yeah, going into this box so far for Machinas or this trap, is it worth it?
I don't think so. Actually,
no. Okay, so we got a hard maybe. On the heroes.
Hard maybe. Yeah, heroes, if you already have all of the other pieces, if you wailed in the selection box, if you have your Ankis, all that, heroes are looking like a good bet for you to improve your deck.
But Machinas, no. And then Ballista Squad, not yet. So the URs are not worth going after.
Yeah, Machinas, it does have some powerful support, but, you're just going to have to find a way to play it. And you should always wait to see how an archetype like that does in a tournament before committing, especially since none of the main cards seem to be like popping out at us as very good. So let's continue to see if we find anything else.
Well, I think the other real big thing right in the box everybody's salivating over is the Aromage support, correct?
Right, yeah, it is. So do you want to go over that archetype next?
Yeah, I would think.
Okay, sure. So let's go over the first Aramage SR, just Human Wins. This is a continuous trap, and it says you can pay 1,000 life points, add one Aroma monster from your deck to your hand. If your life points is lower than your opponent's, you can gain 500 life points. You can only use each effect of Human Wins once per turn. Now, this is a very strong card for Aromages, right? So Aromages are a free-to-play archetype. They're all obtainable through the card trader or tickets or whatever. And this is one of the more powerful cards that they've been waiting for to make the deck more consistent. A free search of an Aroma monster of your choosing based on your board situation. If you want a Rosemary, if you want the level 1/1, whatever, now you can always have it in your hand.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a really nice card, especially because it's a continuous trap, so you can use it every single turn. So on your turn, on your opponent's turn, so you can get a lot of searching. And also it's a really good because you pay 1,000, so it can trigger some skills for you as well. So
that's really good.
You can try to get like No Mortal Can Resist, Destiny Draw.
Oh man.
My only concern is how often can you pay 1,000 life points? I know you have other cards that can help you gain life points, but are you going to be gaining enough to continually use it?
Really, it's only 500 life points because you lose 5. You lose 10, but you gain 5. So
Yeah, you gain 5 from this, right? And then you have to think about your other effects. If you have Aroma Garden on the field, you're also gaining 500, I believe, or is it 1,000?
I believe it is 500. But anyways, it's you're gaining life points, so it's not really too big of a loss.
Right. So our next Aromage card is a rare. It is called Aromage Marjoram. It is a dark level 5. While your life points are higher than your opponent's, you take no battle damage from attacks involving your plant monsters. You can only use each of the following effects of Aromages Marjoram once per turn. When your plant monster is destroyed by battle, you can special summon this card from your hand, then gain 500 life points. If you gain life points, target cards in your opponent's graveyard up to the number of Aroma monsters you control, banish them.
Not bad. So it's got like Holy Guard built in.
Yeah, it's a nice little hand trap. They go in to kill your Aromage monsters, and you get to summon this from your hand.
Yeah, and then you take no battle damage.
Yeah, and then also you get to start banishing stuff from their grave. So you can try and hit their Element Saber monsters, their Stone of Ancients. You can try to hit and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is that's a good monster. The Aromages lack stuff like in this kind of category. The other level 6 we have is like a really big beat stick. I needed something like this with a cool effect.
Yeah.
So the next continuous trap is Dried Winds. If you gain life points, target one face-up monster your opponent controls, destroy it. If you control an Aroma monster and your life points is at least 3,000 higher than your opponent's, you can pay life points equal to the difference, destroy face-up monsters your opponent controls whose combined attack is less or equal to the life points you paid to activate this effect. You can only use each effect of Dried Winds once per turn.
All right, you're going to have to dumb that down for me. What's going on here?
So basically, right, if you gain life points, you target a monster your opponent controls, destroy it. That part's easy. But if you control an Aroma monster, and let's say your opponent is at 2,000 life and you have 6,000 life, you are going to pay 4,000 and you're going to be able to destroy monsters on your opponent's field whose attack equals up to 4,000 or less.
Does it have to equal exactly?
Combined or less.
Okay.
Attack is less than or equal to the life points you paid.
Okay.
So, there you go. If the difference is 3,000, you get to pop one Blue Eyes.
That seems like it might be hard to use. 3,000
maybe for
I guess I got to see how quickly they can generate life points.
Well, just really quickly, right? I'm gonna look up the Aroma monsters and see how much life points you gain. So you get 1,000 from Human Winds. The Synchro, what does it give you?
Aroma Garden gives you 500.
Yeah, Aroma Garden gives you 500. Jasmine, does it give you life points? No, it doesn't. Oh, maybe your life points won't be so high.
I mean, I know you can gain them, but
yeah, well, the new cards, I guess they're really gonna assist you in that.
That's what I mean. We'll have to see how people are gonna make the decks, how they're gonna do the ratios of the monsters and the spells and the traps to get the most life points out of it, so you can start pulling off stuff like this.
Right. So
3,000 higher life than your opponent. That just seems like a steep cost.
Yeah, and then
that's a lot. Yeah, especially without going to battle.
Yeah,
that's pretty rough.
And this is a card that we could see play in the Dark Lord deck. Because Sanctified the Dark Lord. So let's say they go into they go double Purgatrio or something. You can negate the Purgatrio, one of them, and then you can pop the other one, and then they're like, well.
Yeah, because if you gain life points, target one face-up monster your opponent controls and destroy it. Then you can erase the rest of the text. And this is
because you're not
going to use it
anyway.
Oh, exactly.
Unless Dark Lord side in Aroma Rosemary or something like that.
Okay. Which would
but
be
hilarious.
It's
not a guaranteed, but it is a interesting thing. It is a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing we can do.
Yep.
That's it. All right, so the next card is a normal Aromage Laurel. It is a wind level 1. If your life points are higher than your opponent's, you can special summon this card from your hand. If you gain life points, target one non-tuner plant monster on the field. It is treated as a tuner this turn. This card is sent to the graveyard. You can gain 500 life points. You can only use each effective Aramage Laurel once per turn. Yeah, so this card can make itself a tuner and any other Aramage monster a tuner.
That's pretty handy, yeah.
Yeah, so think about the levels. You can make a level 1, 4, 5, 6 tuner.
They need better, you have the one synchro boss monster. It'd be nice if they had a few others. Because otherwise you're just going into generic Aromages, or synchros.
Yeah, and it's going to be weird to kind of see which ones you're going to summon, right? So just given the monsters in this box, that is a level 6 with Rosemary, that's a level 5 synchro. Like, if you're going to play Bergamot, the level 6, then, like, that's going to be like a level 7 synchro if you can get him out.
Yeah.
So, definitely something to think about with that.
Well, just look at next. The generic synchro in the box, Splendid Rose, is a 6.
That's a 6. You can play it with your measure round. We'll read that after we finish Aromages.
Oh, there's more?
There's a couple more cards. So there's another normal. This is a continuous spell, Aroma Gardening. And it says, if you normal or special summon an aroma monster, you can gain 1,000 life points. When an opponent's monster declares an attack while your life points are lower than your opponent's, you can special summon one aroma monster from your deck. You can only use each effective Aroma Gardening once per turn.
Okay.
I mean, I guess it kind of offers you that kind of protection in the event that, your life points are not doing so hot.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you had to play defensively. Then you can special summon, like, a Majoram from your deck, and then you'll take no more battle damage that turn involving plant monsters. So,
but this is a continuous spell, and then you got your field spell, you got continuous traps. You're not going to have a lot of room for techs.
Exactly. Your deck is already looking pretty full if you're playing something like this to save you over, like, Spirit Haribo or some other back row. And it all really depends on how you're going to be able to gain life points without this card. This is also a pretty consistent way to gain life points. Yeah. Every normal or special summon of an aroma monster, you gain 1,000. That's better than the 500 that you get after paying 1,000 from Human Winds. So
it'd be nice if one of the Aromages searched this card. When you normal summon this card, you can pull one spell from your deck. Play it or whatever,
What I'm starting to see, right, is that if you can search aroma monsters from your deck, you're probably going to want to play a card like Human Winds at 3, and then maybe you can play your aroma monsters in lesser numbers, right?
Right.
Because it's not the monsters that you really need in your hand, since you can search them on turn 2 with, like, something like Human Winds. So, like, you want the traps to search the monsters.
Right.
And then this could bring out a monster as well from your deck. So,
but you still have to hard draw it, and that always
you still do have to hard draw it. So you're going to have to run these cards in high capacity if you are going to run them. So the last card is Blessed Winds. This is another continuous trap. You can activate one of these effects. Send one plant monster from your hand or face-up field to the graveyard, gain 500 life points. Or target one plant monster in your graveyard, shuffle it into the deck, then gain 500 life points. Or pay 1,000 life points, special summon one aroma monster from your graveyard. It only uses effective Blessed Winds once per turn. So I don't know. This card is pretty, like, it's pretty situational. I think if you're really desperate to gain life points and move cards around, then you can, like, I wouldn't even play this.
Well, I guess if you had 5 spells and trap zones, maybe, right?
Yeah, but at this point, like,
with only 3,
you're definitely going to be running Humid. You're definitely going to be running Dryad. And you may run a Gardening or 2 for safekeeping or whatever. And then some of the other Aramage support cards that kind of like help them out in this box. The first, the second SR, Splendid Rose that you mentioned.
Yeah. I'm always looking for those generic synchros. Those are fun.
Yeah, so once per turn, you can banish one plant-type monster from your graveyard, then target one face-up monster your opponent controls, half that target's attack until the end of this turn. During the battle phase, if this card attacked, you can banish one plant-type monster in your graveyard, half this card's attack till the end of this turn. And if you do, this card can make a second attack during this battle phase.
Oh, this is an Akiza's deck, isn't it? When you play against the NPC.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, it's not the NPC, but the computer, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I just played against this morning. She used the second effect on me. She banished a plant monster and tried to attack me again for a 1100.
It's pretty weak though for a level 6 synchro. I don't know. I think there's better things that you can summon at level 6, right?
This is for people that don't have,
Brionac, stuff
exactly.
like that.
They don't have Brio. They don't have. In this deck, I don't think this deck can make Goyo Guardian, but they don't have stuff like that.
No, it can't because the tuner is wind.
Yeah. So the second kind of bit of support here is Wall of Thorn. It's a normal trap, and when a plant monster you control is targeted for an attack, destroy all attack position monsters your opponent controls.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like a plant-themed Mirror Force, so it's actually pretty nice, not gonna lie.
Yeah, like, can you imagine, like, swinging into a board of Aromages and, like, you're about to break them because you're like, all they got are their continuous traps. I'm good to go. And then you swing it in their third card, the third back row is this card.
Well, that's gonna be the telltale thing, right? Because they're probably gonna have 2 continuous traps and then one set one. You're like, yeah, not until I draw into my Cosmic, I'm not attacking.
Yeah,
you're probably gonna have to keep one of your continuous traps set just to throw them off until you absolutely need it, so that they don't play around this card.
It's a pretty decent card, but right now I think the meta decks they won't have any problems with that card because for instance, like Blue Eyes, they swing in, it's Wall of Thorns, they just tag out for the Azure Eyes,
right?
And then let's see, we have Dark Lords, they have Tez, so there's that. And what are some other? I think the only deck that really suffers from this card is the Invoke deck. Because they don't really have.
Crystron's going to come back. Yeah, any invoked monster that is not Bacchitis is done.
Yeah, exactly.
Lunalights.
Oh yeah, they're pretty decent against Lunalights too.
Yeah, it does not target Saber Dancer, and it destroys Cat Dancer as well.
What about Stromberg? What about Stromberg?
Well, yeah, this uses Stromberg's strategy against it. So this is the Tier 0 Stromberg counter. Now, what do we think about Aromages? Of course, this is going to be a hot topic, right? Because this is the free-to-play bait that they casted out to see if new players will.
I don't think it would hurt,
right? For the sport.
I mean, it wouldn't hurt. I mean, if you got the gems to spend, I wouldn't go into it thinking you're going to walk out with a tier 1 deck, but I bet you'll be able to cog with it. We'd have to wait and see for tournament performance, right? I wouldn't say run into this and think that you're going to top with tournaments with it.
Because the problem I'm seeing with this is just it's going to take a while for people to optimize, the ratios for the spells and traps that they want to run. I think that's going to be the name of the game for if this deck is good or not. If you're going to be able to draw well, running this many.
Well, and can you get your life points going quick enough to start getting these effects off, or are you just going to be dead in 2 turns? Yeah. That would be my other concern.
Right. So, is there any other archetype in this box per se? Yes, there are. The BLS support.
So, Super Soldier Soul. You can send one Blackluster Soldier monster from your hand to the graveyard until your opponent's next end phase. This card's attack becomes 3,000, and its name becomes Blackluster Soldier. And you can banish this card from the graveyard, add 1 beginning night or evening twilight night from your deck to your hand, and you can only use each effect once per turn.
Wow, becomes 3,000. Wow, that is
Yeah, so this is one of those cards that's a lot of cards nowadays they'll have this text that says you can banish this card from the graveyard except the turn it was sent.
Right.
Navigation is one of those cards that comes.
Yeah.
This is not one of those cards.
Nice.
So you can use it, with that new Charge of the Light Brigade we just got. Mill this guy out, and then you could banish it, try to get some pluses off of that.
Okay.
And then, speaking of Charge of the Light Brigade, we have Envoy of Chaos. During either player's battle phase, discard, then target one Blackluster Soldier monster or a guy the Fierce Knight monster you control. So that, if you have your Super Soldier Soul, his name becomes Blackluster Soldier. So you can use that on him. But it gains 1,500 attack until the end of this turn. And if it does, every opponent monster that it battles this turn has its attack become that monster's original attack. So that is for a card, like Cosmo Brain. It gets, usually when you summon it off of a Blue Eyes, it becomes 3,100. If you swing into the monster with Envoy of Chaos boost, it becomes, I believe, 1,400, 1,450.
1,500, yeah.
It becomes its original attack. Also, Purgatrio. Purgatrio gets boosted by Alistair.
Its own effect, yeah.
Exactly, it'll go back down to its original attack.
Okay.
So the other effect, which is the one I think I'm the most excited for, is once per turn during the end phase, if this card is in your graveyard, you can banish one light and one dark monster, except this card, add it to your hand. So this is giving us a way to banish light monsters consistently, which is something we don't really have too much of. And I think I have like a little theory that you could play this in maybe like a Lightsworn deck, because you could mill this card called Eclipse Wyvern. When it's sent to the graveyard, you can banish a dragon monster. So you banish Judgment Dragon, and then you use the Envoy of Chaos, banish the Eclipse Wyvern, and you get to add the Judgment Dragon back to your hand. So there's like a little way to finally get to it. But
yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's just like a little thought I had. I don't know if it'll go anywhere, but it's just like that was the first thing I thought of.
And when it does, you heard it here first, folks.
Exactly.
So then we have the Beginning Night and the Evening Twilight Night, and they have interesting effects. They give the vanilla Blackluster Soldier effects. So if you ritual summon the original Blackluster Soldier with these guys, it gives them an additional effect. So the Beginning Night lets you target a monster your opponent controls and banish it. And when this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, it can attack a second time.
Nice.
So it gives it the there's a card called Blackluster Soldier Envoy of the Beginning.
Mm-hmm.
It's a effect monster. It gives the ritual monster that effect, basically. It's a little like, this was at a time when it was banned, so they wanted to just give it like a little I guess it's just an homage, I guess.
Yeah, it's like a nod, right? Like it's
nod,
this is banned, but you'll still be able to use its effect. It's still accessible by using it with this card.
Yeah, and the other one is you can target a monster your opponent controls, banish it, or you can banish one card at random from their hand face down until the end of the next turn, or until the end of the next end phase. So that's going to be on for a while. And so
they also have
they have another effect where if they get banished from the graveyard, you can either search a ritual monster, or search a ritual spell. So they're a little interesting. I think the better one is Beginning Night, but that's just for the BLS deck.
Okay. So probably not worth buying the box just for those.
They also have a counter trap.
Yes,
oh, there's a counter trap? Okay.
Yeah, Super Soldier Shield.
Okay.
When a spell / trap or monster effect is activated that targets a monster on the field while you control a Blackluster Soldier, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. And then if it's in your graveyard, you can remove one spell counter from your side of the field, and you can set this card.
You know what that means, Circus? Power of the Guardians, baby!
Woo!
Or I think they use Gateway to Chaos. That's what they like.
Oh yeah, that's what they like.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's also another trap. It's a normal Super Soldier Rebirth.
Yeah. So target one Blackluster Soldier monster you control, send it to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon one Blackluster Soldier monster from your hand with a different name from that monster, ignoring its summoning condition. During your main phase, except during, this is one of those cards, except the turn it was sent to the graveyard. Banish this card from the graveyard, then target one BLS monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand.
All right, so what are the Blackluster Soldier monsters? Are any of these cards Blackluster Soldier monsters when they're not on the field?
No, actually, they are not. The Blackluster Soldier, I think the only one we have is actually
the card trader one.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Blackluster Soldier himself. Oh yes, those guys. Yeah. And we have the tribute. I forget his name. It is so we have Sacred Soldier and we have Envoy of the Evening Twilight, and then we obviously we have the original one, the original Blackluster Soldier.
So there's still just not enough for Blackluster Soldier to play it as a deck.
Well, the thing is, I would say, and then the problem with the deck is that it will rely on the Lightsworn engine. So it's depending on your mills, it could be because we did get Chaos form in the structure deck, the Master of Chaos structure deck. It says this card can be used to ritual summon any Chaos or Blackluster Soldier ritual monster, and it lets you banish from your graveyard. So you can, try to mill something nice. You can banish those evening and beginning nights, and then you can try to get their effects.
Evening Twilight and Sacred Soldier.
Try to get their effects, and you get the effects, and you also go plus. So when they get banished, you get to add another ritual and another monster. So you can try to do some cool stuff with that. But this is a deck that will ride or die by the mills. So it's kind of similar to. I don't want to say Shiranui because you can always open Squire, but definitely it's similar to like Lightsworns where you have to mill really good.
Which will prevent it from being consistent.
Yeah, it's got that consistency problem. But you never know. Spell Specialist could be a thing again.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we are going to go over the rest of the SRs, and then we are going to call it. We went over most of the relevant commons and normals that were not reprints. So our first SR, Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Bane, and we're going to run through these pretty quickly. It's a level 10 Dragon Synchro, 1 tuner plus 1 non-tuner Dark Dragon type Synchro monster. You can tribute one monster, then target one Red Dragon Archfiend monster in your graveyard, special summon it. When this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can special summon 2 tuner monsters with the same name, one from your deck, one from your graveyard, in defense position. You can only use each effect of Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Bane.
Such a bad name. Jesus.
See, this is crazy, right? Because this card, it sets you up for a synchro mechanic that is not in... That they don't have for Red Dragon Archfiend, right? It sets you up for a double tuning, which is where you use 2 tuners with your Red Dragon Archfiend to summon like the level 12 one, and we can't make that play because
I was listening to all the stuff going on. I'm like, when are you going to use this?
And then the other thing is that it's extremely difficult to make.
Yeah, it's a level 10. Yeah,
because there is a level 9 Dark Dragon Synchro, but we don't have it. So you're gonna have to use the level 8, which means you're gonna have to use a level 2 tuner and a Red Dragon Archfiend. So that already is sounding like a lot of cards. And then they want you to tribute a monster you control that's not that card. So it's like...
that was something else.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And then tribute.
So I would not go for that card. Unless you're a diehard, you want to play your Red Dragon Archfiend deck.
Yeah, I guess.
So then the next card is Red Sprinter. And it's when this card is normal or a special summon while you control no other monsters, you can special summon 1 level 3 or lower Fiend type tuner from your hand or graveyard. So it's good in the late game, but it's not a card you want to... if you're
level
using
3 feed type tuner, what's that like? We're gonna have to do a card search real quick because I can't. Off the top of my head, I don't know.
level 3 would be
A resonator.
the OG
Oh my god!
synchron, resonator.
Any resonator is a feed
Yeah.
level 3 tuner.
The
So
problem is that you really do not want to be using a card from your hand to synchro summon when you special summon this card. You want to get one from the grave for sure.
right.
Problem is that that's not going to happen turn 1. That's going to be a turn 2, turn 3 thing. So
Right.
I think this
By
card
then you're
also
dead.
yeah, exactly. Not a really good card, honestly. Next card, Sky Striker Maneuver Jamming Waves.
I already like the name.
If you control no monsters in your monster zone, target one set spell/trap on the field, destroy it. Then, if you have 3 or more spells in your graveyard, destroy one monster on the field. So, an interesting thing about this card is that it targets one. It definitely targets for its first effect. So you target a set card. The second effect does not target. So they have to respond to it right there. So like let's say they have, just for the sake of argument, they have a set spell and they have a Magician's Rod. You pop the set spell, and then right there they have to decide if they want to use something to get rid of their Magician's Rod, like illusion magic. Like they want to tribute it off, because if they don't respond to it, then you can just pop the monster and they can't respond to the pop.
All right, so how do I use this in spell books to bring spell books back?
It's not that kind of card. This is.
But I just saw you have 3 or more spells in your graveyard. You know those spell book players are like, "We're back, we're back."
Oh well, the problem with that is that there's one of their main cards. I believe it's, which one is it? The one that lets you reveal 3. That one says you can't use other
Master.
spells.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spell
Not
master.
It's the it's the one where you have no
Reveal
spells.
3. Library.
Crescent one?
Crescent library.
Yeah, you
Crescent
can't use it.
library,
You can't use other spells. That's the problem.
Oh, okay.
But this is interesting in those grass decks, because they're always just milling a ton of spells and monsters. So you could pull this off. But I think you're better off running something like Galaxy or what is it? Cosmic Cyclone? No, Galaxy Cyclone, the one that you can banish from the graveyard.
Right.
You're better off using one of those.
Okay.
So overall, I think the box is not the worst box we've ever seen, but I don't think it's anything special. It's definitely skippable, at least in my opinion.
If you got 10,000 gems burning a hole in your pocket.
I would like to be proved wrong, though, but I think right now, I don't think it's worth investing in. There's not enough. You're not getting enough bang for your buck.
Yeah, definitely not. Like, as a new player, right? If you've watched the Duel Academy videos, we suggest that you always prioritize getting your staples over something like this, right? This is a flashy new mini box with some support cards and other support cards from archetypes that you may be able to go into. But I do not think that anything here is standout enough for you to dump your gems into, especially when there is another main box around the corner. You might want to save up, or if you want to go after your staples, this is like the time to do it, because I don't think there's anything stand out in this box.
Yeah, and there's no standalone deck. I always like the mini boxes because usually they have a standalone deck, and they don't have that this time.
Yeah, the only thing you get is with you need Card Trader plus this. It's that kind of.
Right. Whereas previous boxes, like I think Yusenju's and Ritual Beasts were all in one box, and then another box had Shiranui's contained all within the box. So you don't have that in this one. So for me, I'm going to pass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think, just because I have all the hero cards already, I got my Stratos, I got all that, I will be, I may buy for the hero support. I'm going to see, because I want to see if heroes are going to be viable, and the support it's looking good, but I want to see what it's going to do first. So,
as far as like Wall of Thorns or Ballista Squad, these one-offs, look what happened with Phoenix Chain. Everybody went in on hard on Phoenix Chain, and it's still around, but it's definitely not meta shaking. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't go in just after one of these traps, personally.
Yeah, because then, if you want multiple of them, then you're going to have to go through multiple times, and it's not really worth doing that on a mini with nothing super strong. So yeah, it's going to be a holdout for me. Hold out into the main box.
All right. Well, thank you, Kamell and PDS, for your great insight. And if you guys like what you saw here, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Give us your thoughts in the comments below. Are you going to get the box? Is it worth spending money on? What are you going after? Make sure to check us out on Twitch. Check us out on Twitter. The links for those
also
are below. There's more.
We're having a tournament, 5-round Swiss top 32 on Friday, Battle Phase Fridays. The new box will be out by then, and people will be playing the new cards. So,
and you'll probably be watching this 6 months from now, and we're still having that tournament on Friday. Every Friday. It doesn't matter what Friday it is. We'll be there.
Also, if you made it this far, type bioplant in the comments.
There you go.
There you go.
If you somehow made it through 50 minutes of box review. Yep. Take it easy, guys. We'll see you next time. Okay.
Yeah, we can do BLS quickly, and then there's not much else. We can go over the.
I just want to let you know where we're at. I mean, it's all good stuff. I'm not going to edit any of it. I think it's all really good.
Oh, yeah,
what about this part? What about this part?
No, this is going in. This is definitely going in.
Oh, okay.
We'll be done in under an hour.